A dragster's tires take quite a beating during the brief but fast run down the racetrack. The tires have to face full-on acceleration right out of the starting gate, then heavy-duty braking after the finish line, with the car deploying a rear parachute and slowing to an eventual stop. A drag race is the ultimate automotive sprint, with rapid acceleration to speeds topping 310 miles per hour. Optimal tire traction can give a car the winning edge. Dragster tires, like most tires, are made from rubber, which hasn't been cured to a firm and permanent state. For most parts of the tire, they reinforce the rubber with nylon fabric. The machine heats and kneads rubber slabs until they melt, then coats both sides of the material with a molten rubber. When the fabric-reinforced sheet of rubber cools, the machine slices it into pieces of a specific length, making the cuts at a diagonal called a bias angle. A skilled tire builder then joins the edges of a piece to form a band, sticks it to an identical band made of an opposite bias piece. Layering increases strength, then stretches this two-ply band over a tire building machine. Next, he applies the belts, two opposing bias pieces of fabric-reinforced rubber, which he lays diagonally onto the tread area of the tire. A laser guide marks the edges so that he can match the belts to each other. These belts help give the tire stiffness, strength, and stability. He uses a roller to press out any trapped air between the plies and belts. This helps ensure a thorough bond. After a stitcher wheel folds down the plies, he folds the ends of the material into the machine. Then he applies a contact cement type material to enhance the natural adhesion of uncured rubber. Meanwhile, an automated machine makes the tire's beads, the rigid hoops around both sides of the opening, which holds the tire firmly to the wheel. Each bead is made from a thick steel wire. The machine first encapsulates it in rubber. Then it winds the bead around a mandrel up to 50 times, forming a hoop. The machine forms 4 beads at a time. The next machine wraps the hoop in a piece of fabric-reinforced rubber. This additional layer will stiffen the sidewall, the non-treaded area of the tire. The builder uses a tool called a bead server to mount the finished bead. While the tire is spinning, he applies the contact cement type material to help the rubber-to-rubber adhesion when he wraps the plies around the bead to secure it further. The stitcher wheel smooths the plies flat and pushes out trapped air. Then the tire builder applies a strip of fabric-reinforced rubber on top and rolls it flat. This strip will make the bead area more durable when the tire is mounted on a wheel. He applies a layer of non-reinforced rubber on the sidewall. This covers the edges of the plies and will help the tire retain air once it's inflated. This machine makes the tread by extruding molten rubber through a die into a continuous strip, then applying it onto the spinning tire. The fully constructed tire now goes into a press to cure. Inside, a hot mold closes around the perimeter, while a bag inflates in the middle, pushing the tire outward against the walls of the mold. When the tire comes out about half an hour later, the rubber is no longer soft and pliable, and its chemical structure is stabilized, locking in the final dimensions. Workers seal the wheel opening and inflate the tire to hold the shape until the rubber cools. Once the rubber has cooled to room temperature, which takes about an hour, the tire undergoes a series of quality control checks. Here, a worker performs a visual inspection while trimming off excess rubber from the bead area. Before the decals go on, they also X-ray the tire, looking for any internal flaws. Life in the fast lane, while exciting, is short. Dragster tires need to be replaced every 4 to 6 trips down the drag strip.